have for you a creation from mod author Bill Jones, the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. If you haven't checked out this creation by now, you absolutely 100% should. I highly recommend it. Now, there's a few prerequisites to install prior to building this, but we'll get into those in just a second. Now, a bit of fictional Star Wars history for y'all. It's a Corellian light freighter. Goes back to decades prior to the Clone Wars and Galactic Empire. It's also known as the YT-1300 492727Z and was manufactured in 60 BBY by the Corellian Engineering Corporation. The Millennium Falcons had many owners, including the Coral Industries Limited, Calendova Brigger, as well as the Republic Group. Dating back to 1977, the original Star Wars movie featured Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, aka Princess Leia, and Han Solo. The Millennium Falcon first appeared in the 1977 Star Wars movie A New Hope and was designed by Joe Johnston. It appeared in several other Star Wars movies, such as the Star Wars Holiday Special 1978, The Empire Strikes Back 1980, Return of the Jedi 1983, The Force Awakens 2015, The Last Jedi 2017, Solo, A Star Wars Story 2018, The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. Now, this is a fantastic ship. You can build it for dirt cheap in game. Once you got it built and you're out in the Starfield flying it, you won't look back. And that much I can promise you. Now, getting into the prerequisites here, we've got the Millennium Falcon Star Wars by Bill Jones, Ship Build Tweaks by Evan Z, and Ship Pieces Unlocked by Say Hello to Mr. Bullet. Now, I recommend those if you're doing that and building from your outpost. But all in all, this will cost you 102,531 credits. So without further ado, let's get into the builder and get this done. Alright y'all, welcome to the builder. And we're about to get started here. One thing to note, one thing I do want to point out is we'll be doing this from the aft position starting out. But I do recommend building your own landing pad with Ship Builder at your own outpost. Unless you want to go to New HomeStead in Sol System and build your ship there. But mainly with ship parts unlocked and doing it at your own outpost, you'll have access to like 2x2s, 3x2s, 3x3s. But without further ado, let's get into this. Now, first thing we're going to do is lay down a bunch of habs. We're going to start with our Nova Galactic 2x2. Then grab a 3x1 engineering bay. And make sure that it's hatched or flush flat across the fore position or front here. But it's kind of sticking out back here. Grab 2 Nova Galactic storerooms. Attach them like so. Now we're going to duplicate a third one. Put it dead center at the very front of the ship here. Okay. Next for habs, we're going to go up and grab our side singles. So I'm going to grab this and see if I can zoom in for you. That attachment point right here, if I can get on it. This attachment point is going to sit right on the side of our engineering bay here. We'll put one there. Notice how it's still sticking out a little bit. That's fine. But we're going to duplicate this hab again, attach it. Notice how that attachment point turns green. So both of these are going to attach to each other. Alright? We're going to go ahead and drag and drop this right there. Alright, so we have one more that's going to go on the front of our storeroom here. And that's going to be our hab front. Now, it might clip, but that's fine. You can just hover over, grab, and just drag and drop this right here. Now, these won't go anywhere. These are just cosmetics. Both of these. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Alright, we're going to head over to structural. We're not going to do that yet. If fuselage, but we're going to need 3 IO equipment plates. One's going to go on the front of our engineering bay. Duplicate 2 over and drag them straight across the front here. Like so. Alright, next we're going to go to our horizon weapon mount. These are going to sit at the front. One on the front side of our 2x2. Duplicate, flip, and one on the front side of our engineering bay here. So one here, one here. Alright, so we're not quite done yet. Got to tab over to gears. We're going to start with our singles. Now notice how that's got a circle that's flat facing up. It's also got a bit of a sphere around it. That point is going to attach the front of our 2x2. So notice that circle right there. We're going to duplicate it, drag it, and drop it over to the front of our engineering bay. And then one more duplicate, and that's going to sit right on our 1x1 there. Okay, now our dual landers, we're only going to use 2 of these. So one's going to go on the back of our engineering bay. Like so. And then duplicate, drag, and drop onto the back of our 1x1 storeroom. Okay, next up, we're going to need our landing bay. YT-1300. Now notice that attachment point right there. That arrow is pointing down, animated. That's going to sit in the middle point, or at the back corner of our 2x2 there. Go ahead, grab that, D-pad down, and drag it over. Bang. Now it might be a bit tricky, it might seem off, but it is not. Just follow that green square there. Right there. Right, next up, our docker. This may seem a bit weird, but once we get into the interior, you'll see. So this is going to go on the side point in the middle. So that docker is going to be right above our landing bay. But the main port will be against our all-in-one berth. Okay, with that out of the way, we go back to structural, grab our fuselage. Now it'll probably be underneath, but that's fine. What you want is this open point right here, right over our center equipment plate there. We'll go up by 3, see if we can get it. That's perfect, because with that being said, through this opening here, you'll be able to see a bit of your docker, which is fine. So you know you got it right when you can see that equipment plate in your docker. Okay, shields, we're just going to go 1x1 here. Our YT-1300 Nordoxicon. Once you drop it, it might be weird. It's like, hey, how do I pick it up? Just hover over or hover your cursor in between the two. You can drag it. Right here. See, there be 2 empty boxes here. That's where you want that. Bang. Right, next up, reactor. That Quad-Tex or Quad-X. This has a bit of an angle here. This is going to sit in this empty space right here. Right? Next up, our grav drive or hyperdrive. This is going to go. Oh, this is a bit weird. You might hover here, you can't pick it up, so just slightly back on an angle. And there you go. That's going to sit right where you can see your reactor there. Bang. Alright, fuel tanks are YT-1300. This is going to sit at the front at this point right here. Notice how there's 3 cutouts so far. Fuel tank drops right there. Alright, a scan jammer. I'm going to drag this over here. Now notice how it has a circular base. There's an empty spot right here where this is going to go. Bang. Right, engines are sublight. Now this might be weird to pick up. You might like hover over certain points and it'll be illuminated. Just kind of drag the cursor forward, grab this, and that's going to sit right in that empty spot. So notice how all across the back there's nothing here. I'm going to go right here. Okay, next up our cockpit. It's going to have an attachment point right here, this doorway. Now for a bit of transparency, we can take this off. Fine. That doorway is going to attach to the front here. Bar 2x2. So it'll be attaching right here. Alright, so drag the fuselage back on. Okay. Now one thing to note, you don't want to do what I just did, because there's 2 weapon mounts here and you want to mount weapons. So, I'll drop the cargo module for now. Essentially that's going to sit right there, but we'll put it on the back for now. Just let that sit. We'll get to that in a minute. Our weapons. We're going to need these 2, so drop these aside. The quad laser top and the quad laser bottom. I'm going to go all the way down here and grab the Obliterator 250s and the 280C Atlatl missile launcher. This missile launcher is going to go on our left side here, right on this weapon mount. Just one. If you put 2, it'll clip through. And next, obliterators. I put 2 here. You can probably just put 1, but I prefer 2. Just like this. A little bit more firepower. Alright, so we'll put our fuselage back on. Before we continue, this YT-1300 shielded cargo, I'm going to go right here. Right? There's an empty spot here. Another cutout. Alright, so our weapons, we'll start with the bottom. The quad laser cannon bottom. That attachment point you see there, that blue outline, that's essentially going to be touching right here. That open area on the bottom where our cannon's going to go. Kind of like it's a manned cannon. Next one right here. Again, our empty area at the top where that equipment plate is. Bang. Okay, now, before we assign weapons, we want a color. Color 1 is default gray, the second option. Color 2 is also default gray, second option. Third color, we're going to leave it at default, but skyrocket saturation all the way to the right. Bring our brightness up. Go about this point. Maybe a little darker. Yeah. If you don't want to pause, copy this. By all means, go for it. Color 3. Again, saturation all the way up. And brightness. And somewhat decent. Alright, now we have an error. So that just means we have to assign weapons. Weapon 0, quad laser cannon top. The other one, weapon 1, the obliterators. And for weapon 2, missile launchers. So weapon 2 is going to be Y. weapon 1 is going to be your left trigger, or if you're on a PlayStation controller, L2. Quad top is going to be R2, or right trigger. This will conclude the build. We're going to exit out, and everything is as it should be. Alright, so get into this, take a look around, see how things came out. I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a primary ship for me. Just because I have used it and I will not look back. Very powerful ship. Once we load in, we're gonna be staring at our 2x2 here. We're gonna go left into our storeroom. Make a right. And here's our other storeroom. No Easter eggs in here. And we're going to come out, go into our 2x2 here. Nice little chill living room area. Or is messing around with inventory. Be careful, don't touch anything. Over here, couch, 2 beds. Oh, nice desk. But since y'all saw it out of the corner of your eye, we're going to go straight into that front storeroom. And here it is. Little Easter egg behind this door. Princess Leia. Go ahead and close this one. Wing over here. Hang a right to our engineering bay. 3x1. And you might notice another Easter egg. Han Solo, Harrison Ford. Those are the only 2 that I was able to find so far. I think that's about it. We're gonna run back out, go into our 2x2, and right here, normally a closed hatch, we're gonna open this up, and this is gonna lead us to our cockpit here. We'll walk through, and we've got a nice walkway here, just like the Millennium Falcon, into the cockpit. Now, we do have normally captain's locker, cargo hold. That's about it. Normally here would be where the armillary goes, but we're not there yet. And this cube back here for decoration. But for us, I'm gonna hop into the pilot seat. We're gonna do, well, she is not me, just a player character. But we're gonna jump off into space here. And do a quick speed test. Listen, listen. That is satisfying. That is not anything like the vanilla sounds of any other ship in Starfield. Perfect. So, Bill Jones, well done. Alright, without hitting other ships here. I mean, I love the way it handles. Feels smooth. And at our base cruise speed, we're at 899. So with the boost, get ready for it. I already know what the number is going to be, but look at that. Over 2,000, over 3,000, almost 3,800 in speed. Now this is a lovely ship. I will not look back. This will be my primary now. Being a Mando or a Death Watch. Stole a Millennium Falcon in game. But I'm gonna jump off. We're gonna do a little combat demo. Take you all out to the usual spot, Serpentis, and see how it handles. But I thank you all for stopping by, checking this out, and if you enjoy the video, definitely drop a like and subscribe. Usually let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you all on the next one. All right, later.